The average British driver spends between £8,000 and £15,000 on a used car. They read reviews, they check the mileage, they get a history check, they feel good about it. And then, 3 years later, they are sitting in a waiting room at a garage being handed a quote that makes no sense on a car that was sold to them as sensible. And the mechanic writing that quote? He drives something completely different. He has always driven something completely different. He knows something you were never told. This is not bad luck. This is the information gap. And today, we are closing it. There is a short list of used cars in Britain that mechanics trust with their own money. Not the cars they advertise on their workshop walls, not the cars that manufacturers pay to put in front of you, the cars they actually put on their own driveways, the ones that almost never come back to the ramp, that cost almost nothing to run, and that hold together long after every warranty has expired. These cars exist. They are hiding in plain sight on every used forecourt in the country. And nobody in the industry has any financial incentive to tell you which ones they are. Before we dive in, comment where you are watching from and click subscribe. This list is built on 4 things: the What Car, reliability survey covering 32,493 owners across 227 models, the Warranty-Wise Reliability Index 2026, which analysed over 1.6 million real-world UK repair records from vehicles aged 3 to 15 years old, RAC and AA breakdown data, and conversations with independent mechanics, the people in small workshops who see these cars after the warranty has run out. Not franchise dealerships, the people fixing it with their own hands. What they consistently say is simple engineering beats complex engineering at high mileage every time. Japanese reliability still leads the category in 2026, despite 2 decades of other manufacturers promising to close the gap. And the sweet spot for used value in Britain right now is the 5 to 10-year-old car, where the steepest depreciation has already hit, but the mechanics are thoroughly understood by the independent trade and affordable to fix. These are the cars you can own without the fear of an invoice that resets your year. Now, the 9 cars. Number 9. The Toyota Yaris 2011 to 2020. The Yaris is the car people buy wanting reliability, then feel quietly embarrassed they did not choose something more interesting. That embarrassment disappears the first time they speak to someone who chose the interesting alternative and is now on their second gearbox. In the 2026 Warranty-Wise Reliability Index, which covered 1.6 million UK repair records, the Toyota Yaris scored 92.8 out of 100 overall. The 4th generation car achieved a perfect 100% in the What Car survey. Not one single owner reported a fault across a 24-month period. The 3rd generation cars from 2011 to 2020 are the used sweet spot right now. They are available from around £3,000 for a solid 2013 example. The 1 litre and 1.3, 3 litre petrol engines use chain timing rather than a belt, have no significant documented failure modes at normal mileage, and independent mechanics describe them as among the most predictable cars they work on. The Toyota dealer network is the best in Britain for parts availability, even on a car this age, so you will not be waiting weeks for a sensor. Watch for rust on rear arches and sills on older unprotected examples. Air conditioning compressors occasionally fail on cars made before 2014, so budget for a Rogasan inspection. Otherwise, there is very little to worry about. The mechanic from Coventry, this is the one he drives. Number 8. The Honda Jazz 2015 to 2020. Honda topped the 2025 What Car brand reliability rankings for the first time in 7 years. The 3rd generation Jazz, sold in the UK from 2015 to 2020, is a core reason why. The 1.3 litre VTEC engine has almost no documented catastrophic failure modes at normal mileage. No turbocharger to fail, no intercooler to crack, and no complex boost management to go wrong. Independent mechanics describe the drivetrain as predictable and honest. The magic seats let the Jazz swallow objects with no business fitting inside a small car, and they add genuine daily practicality on top of the mechanical case. For a family running one car, or anyone who wants real space without the running costs of a larger vehicle, this generation of Jazz is a quietly outstanding choice. Watch for confirm any automatic has the CVT gearbox, not the earlier iShift. The iShift can develop clutch judder with neglected servicing. Check service history specifically for gearbox fluid intervals. This is the one maintenance item Jazz owners most often skip, and it is the one that matters most. Manual gearbox examples carry no such concern and are the simpler long-term choice. Prices range from £6,000 to £11,000 for models from 2016 to 2019. Number 7. The Toyota Corolla 2019 onwards, hybrid only. The E210 Corolla arrived with Toyota's 4th generation hybrid system across the entire range. No diesel, no base petrol. In Car Dealer Magazine's 2025 brand reliability analysis tracking 10,000 warranty claims, Toyota recorded the lowest claim rate of any manufacturer, 7.02%, with average repair costs of £479. Honda came second, Mazda came third, every other manufacturer was further back. Toyota's hybrid battery packs carry an 8-year warranty from new. Taxi fleets running Prius models, the same core hybrid architecture, have documented packs running to 200,000 miles and beyond. The hybrid components are consistently not the failure point. The engines and batteries outlast the ancillaries. Available from around £13,000 for 2019 examples with sensible mileage. The 1.8-litre hybrid is the default choice for most buyers. The 2.0-litre hybrid in the Sport or GR Sport trim offers noticeably more performance without sacrificing the reliability case. What to watch for? There is almost nothing structural to worry about on this generation. Minor infotainment software glitches were reported on early 2019 cars, and a software update at a Toyota dealer resolves these. Check the hybrid battery health using Toyota's diagnostic system before buying any example above 80,000 miles. Regenerative braking means brake disc wear is slower than on conventional cars, but check for surface corrosion on discs that have sat unused. Number 6. The Mazda CX-5 petrol from 2017 to 2022. Mazda sits third in the UK brand reliability rankings, with a warranty claim rate of 10.4%. The CX-5 carries that reputation most consistently in the used SUV segment. But there is a critical caveat on this entry. Buy the petrol, not the diesel. In the 2025 What Car Reliability Survey, the petrol CX-5 ranked 6th out of 76 cars in the family SUV class, scoring 98.4%. The diesel ranked 24th at 94.9%. The gap exists because Mazda's Skyactiv D diesel has a documented problem with fuel diluting the engine oil during DPF regeneration, particularly on cars used mainly for short trips. The DPF cannot complete its cycle. Fuel contaminates the oil. The consequences, left unaddressed, are serious. The Skyactiv G petrol engine has no such concern. It is a naturally aspirated unit with no diesel complexity, no DPF to block, and no EGR system accumulating carbon deposits. It is built to Mazda's engineering philosophy of simplicity, fewer moving parts, lower complexity, and fewer failure modes. Independent mechanics describe the petrol CX-5 as one of the most satisfying used SUV buys in the market right now. A premium-feeling interior, genuinely excellent driving dynamics for the class, and a reliability profile that is almost entirely worry-free. It also handles better than most of its rivals. This is a car that engineers actually enjoy, which is not something you can say about most sensible used SUVs. Used prices are £12,000 to £20,000 for petrol examples from 2019 to 2022. If a seller is offering the diesel at a significant discount, now you know exactly why. The petrol premium is worth every pound. Number 5. The Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, 2019 onwards. The RAV4 is the best-selling car in the world, not just the best-selling SUV, the best-selling car of any kind, and the reliability data explains why. The 4th generation RAV4 Hybrid carries the same reliability case as the Corolla above. Toyota's industry-low claim rate, documented 200,000-mile battery longevity and fleet operation, and a What Car owner satisfaction score of 97.1% make it the highest-rated model in the used SUV segment by a clear margin. The RAV4 Hybrid adds all-wheel drive without a mechanical rear differential. Toyota's system uses a rear-mounted electric motor to drive the rear axle independently, so there is no transfer case, no prop shaft, and no drive shaft to the rear. This setup is significantly simpler than conventional all-wheel drive from a long-term maintenance perspective, and the reliability data reflects that. Toyota offers a 10-year warranty on RAV4s that are serviced annually at a Toyota dealer, and this warranty transfers to subsequent owners. A full dealer service history on this car has genuine financial value, not just comfort value. Used prices run from £14,000 to £22,000 for 2019 to 2022 examples. Number 4. The Skoda Octavia, 2013 to 2020 petrol. The third generation Octavia finished first out of 25 cars in the What Car Family Car Reliability class with a score of 99.3%. First, it finished above the Ford Focus, Seat Leon and Volkswagen Golf, which uses essentially the same platform. The Golf costs several thousand more on the forecourt. The reason the Octavia earns its place ahead of its Volkswagen Group siblings is not engineering superiority. They share too much for that. It is value. A 2017 Octavia hatchback 1.0-litre TSI petrol with full service history costs £8,000 to £12,000. A similarly specified Golf costs £12,000 to £16,000 for the same engine, closely related architecture, and a worse reliability survey result. Independent mechanics say parts commonality across the Volkswagen Group means the Octavia is no harder or more expensive to service than the Golf. You are paying thousands less for a more reliable car. The sticker price difference is pure brand premium, and you are on the wrong end of it if you choose the Golf. Engine recommendation: the 1.0-litre TSI 3-cylinder petrol is widely regarded by independent mechanics as a reliable, low-cost unit with no widespread failure patterns. Avoid diesel on short journey driving because of diesel particulate filter problems, the same reason that applies to the Mazda CX-5. On an early 2013 to 2015 DSG automatic examples, confirm the gearbox oil has been changed every 38,000 miles. This is the single service item that differentiates a healthy DSG from one heading toward a significant repair. Manual gearbox examples carry no such caveat and are the simpler long-term choice. The Octavia estate deserves mention. It has a 610-litre boot, and you can find a solid mid-decade example for under £10,000. One of the most practical used buys in Britain, it leads its class in reliability, almost unfair to the competition. Number 3. The Toyota Prius, 2012 to 2015. The most misunderstood car on this list. The word hybrid still produces anxiety in buyers who fear a battery replacement will bankrupt them. We address that directly, with data. The third generation Prius uses Toyota's nickel metal hydride hybrid battery, the same architecture deployed across hundreds of thousands of British hybrid vehicles. Taxi operators running Prius fleets in British cities have documented cars completing well over 200,000 miles with only gradual battery capacity. Degradation. Not failure. Degradation. The battery does not suddenly stop working the way a conventional alternator fails. It loses capacity slowly, over years and very high mileage. For a private buyer covering 10,000 to 15,000 miles per year, a well-maintained 2013 to 2015 Prius is not realistically going to need a battery replacement within any foreseeable ownership period. Consumer Reports gave the 2010 to 2015 generation above average to excellent reliability scores across the board, with the 2013 model year appearing consistently on recommended used car lists. Regenerative braking significantly reduces brake pad and disc wear. Prius models used as taxis consistently produce brake costs that are a fraction of equivalent conventional vehicles. Real-world fuel economy runs at 50 to 60 miles per gallon in mixed British driving. For a private buyer doing average UK mileage, that is a running cost advantage that compounds every single month of ownership and adds up to several £100 per year, compared to a conventional petrol of similar size. The specific caution: the inverter coolant pump can fail above 100,000 miles. It costs £400 to £600 at an independent specialist. A known fault with a known fix, so budget for it on any example above 90,000 miles. Used prices: £3,000 to £7,000 for 2012 to 2015 examples. Number 2, the Honda Civic, 2017 to 2022. In Car Health's 2026 reliability analysis, the 10th generation Civic scored 93 out of 100, with a fault rate of 7.54%, the lowest in its segment by a significant margin. Honda ranked first overall as Britain's most reliable car brand in 2025 for the first time in 7 years. The Civic drove that result. Practically, the 10th generation Civic surprises people who assume it is a compact hatchback. The interior is genuinely adult-sized. The boot is larger than most direct competitors. The 1-litre and 1.5-litre VTEC turbo engines are well proven. Neither shows the premature wear patterns associated with some first-generation turbocharged engines from other manufacturers, and both have been in service long enough that independent mechanics understand them thoroughly. Parts availability is good. Labour costs for standard servicing are in line with the class, and Honda's parts pricing has no premium mystery attached to it. One important caveat: the 9th generation Civic, the 2012 to 2017 model, had documented reliability issues, including a poorly received 1.6-litre diesel and a less impressive build quality record overall. When we say Honda Civic on this list, and in 2026, we mean the 10th generation from 2017 onwards. The 9th generation is a different car with a different reliability track record. Do not conflate them on the forecourt. The badge looks the same, but the ownership experience does not. Used prices: £12,000 to £20,000 for 2019 to 2022 examples. The 1.5-litre VTEC Turbo Sport is the complete package. Number 1, Toyota Corolla, 2003 to 2008, the E12 generation. This will surprise people. We have separated it from the 2019 Corolla because it makes a completely different argument. Where the 2019 car makes the case on modern hybrid data, the E12 Corolla makes a different and equally compelling case. It is one of the most durable conventional petrol hatchbacks ever built, and in 2026 it costs almost nothing to buy. The 1.4 and 1.6-litre petrol engines are naturally aspirated, with no turbocharger, no direct injection prone to carbon buildup, and no dual-clutch gearbox that suffers maintenance-sensitive wear. They are simple units, built with Toyota's characteristic tendency to over-engineer beyond the minimum required specification. Independent mechanics who have worked on these cars for 20 years describe the engines as essentially unkillable with basic maintenance. Oil changes, coolant changes, filters, that is the service schedule. The reward is an engine that simply keeps running. Available from under £2,000 for solid examples. For a young driver, a retired person on a fixed income, or anyone who needs a car that starts every morning and costs almost nothing to insure, service or repair, there is no more rational purchase in the British used market at this price point. The honest caveat: these cars are now 20 years old, which means corrosion is the primary risk on any example. Check the sills, the floor behind the front seats, the rear arch liners, and the underside of the boot floor carefully. A car that has lived in Scotland or near the coast without underbody treatment will show more metal damage than a southern English example. Get under it before you buy. A solid, rust-free E12 Corolla in 2026 is genuinely exceptional value. A corroded one is not. The distinction is visible, you just have to look. Before we close, here is the one rule the mechanics on this list would give you if you ask them directly. When looking at a used car, ask one question before anything else. Not the mileage, not the age, not the colour. Ask this: is this brand in the top 3 of the long-term reliability survey? And does this specific engine have known problems that are expensive or unpredictable? If the answer to the first part is no, or the second part is yes, keep walking. There are enough good options in the British used market that you do not need to gamble. Toyota and Honda have occupied the top of the UK brand reliability rankings consistently for years. That is not luck. That is engineering choices made inside those organisations that prioritise long-term durability over short-term cost savings. For contrast, the Land Rover Discovery ranked last in the 2026 Warranty-Wise Reliability Index, with a score of 17.2 out of 100. The single most expensive repair request in that entire dataset of 1.6 million records was £44,401.48. It was on a Land Rover Discovery Sport. The Kia Picanto scored 86.8. Average repair cost on the Picanto was £403. The Discovery Sport average cost when it breaks is in a different universe entirely. Complexity is not a feature at high mileage, it is a liability. Simple beats complex every single time, on every car in every dataset. That has been true for 20 years of reliability surveys, and it will be true for the next 20. Now you know which 9 cars the smart money goes on. Share this with anyone about to buy used. Subscribe now so you do not miss it.